Hello, everyone. My name is Kerry George with CIBN Connect, and today I am going to talk about a subject that is near and dear to the hearts of most business owners or entrepreneurs. I'm going to talk about how to get leads, how to get sales, and how to get results. And I'm going to cover those things today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm talking about this today, because I did something kind of bold and crazy the other day. I was in a very large Facebook group, and I made a post and I said on the wall, go ahead, ask me any problem that you're having in business, and I'll give you a resource. And it was interesting to me that more than one person put up leads and sales. And I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? This is something I actually know a lot about, but I haven't done a video on it. So I thought today I'm going to talk about leads, sales, and results and answer that question. And then I can give them this video as an answer instead of just trying to, give them something short and cheap that, really isn't going to solve their problems. So I did ask them some questions about what they did for a living, because that's helpful. But this is true for most business owners. So I'm going to get into it right now. Let's talk about leads first, and then we're going to get into the sales aspect and into results. So this is something I see with many small business owners, is that they're looking to get lots of leads. And so they're looking for a lead generator or something that will give them a quick fix to their problem, which is usually lack of revenue, okay, or slow or low cash flow, okay? So let me just kind of go through what are some of the reasons that you might be having lack of revenue and slow cash flow in the first place. Oftentimes it's because you're not getting sales coming in, but it's often because you haven't had enough practice as well, okay? Now, not everybody is going to be in the same situation, but many are. And this is something that I see all the time. We have people looking for these magic machines that will give them lots and lots of leads. But if you can't close a deal, why would a thing that works to bring you 50 leads or 100 leads or 1,000 leads this month help you? Hello? It's not going to help you. So in most people's cases, if you are a life insurance agent, a real estate agent, you are in network marketing, you are the owner of a small shop, you are somebody who is, you're a coach, okay? Usually what you need to actually bring you more revenue is a few more clients every month. Am I right? The reality is that whatever you've got right now, it isn't enough, right? So maybe you've got 5 clients, 10 clients, 20 clients, whatever it is, but you need more, right? And you don't need a big lead generating machine in order to accomplish that, all right? What you need is some very basic stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money and doesn't take a ton of time. It's just stuff that you can actually do to bring in a consistent flow of leads. So let's talk about the perspective of a direct salesperson or someone who sells life insurance. Maybe you're having like 10 appointments a week. Okay. And for 10 appointments a week, you might be closing 1 sale or 2 sales a week. All right. The first thing in order to get more sales is just double the amount of appointments that you have. It's not that difficult. It's also incredibly important that you do it in steps like this before you start looking for great big lead generating machines. Because if you have a big lead generating machine that is like using Facebook ads or Google ads or something like that, and you're getting a lot in, you need to know what those sales processes are before you can actually hand that off to a VA or use a team or, train salespeople or anything like that. So in order to scale, you've got to have gotten really good at your sales for your craft, whatever it is that you do. Okay. So at first, you don't need a big machine. You just need to actually have more leads than you have right now. Okay. You need to double that. And you need to get really good at the sales appointment. And I'm going to get into how to get really good at the sales appointment in a little bit, but let's talk about doubling those leads. Okay. Where are those going to come from? I'm going to give you a few ideas here. First of all, the best one that I know, and I'm not just saying this because I own a business network. Okay. It's networking. I'm going to tell you why I own a business network, because I was in business. All right. I actually had a marketing business and I needed to get clients. So I went out and I found a business network in my city, one of those places where you go and shake hands with people and collect cards and make appointments with business owners. And I found that was a really easy way to book appointments with business owners. And even if they didn't do, or maybe they didn't have the need for what I had, they often knew somebody who had the need for what I had. I just had to get them to know, like, and trust me more in order for them to give me that lead. It was just being friendly, right? It was having more than one appointment with them. That's what would lead to them giving me the leads, the referrals. Okay. So referral business is a great way of getting more business. And it works like this. If you haven't gone out networking, go to all the clients that you currently have and ask them, are you happy with my services? Yes, great, awesome. Would you, who do you know that has this problem and this problem that I solve that you would like to refer to me? And get them to give you referrals. And it's even better if you ask a few questions so that they give you more than one referral. Okay? Ask the question, wait for the answer. Ask the question, wait for the answer. Have a list of questions that you can go through with existing clients so that they will give you these referrals that you need. And when you have these referrals, you want to follow up with them right away. And you also want to tell them, hey, our mutual friend Susan told me to call you because I solved this problem. And she thought that you and I should get together. And, use that as your opportunity to get together and have those appointments. Because in most people's cases, when they're trying to get more revenue in and trying to get more leads, all they really need is to double what they have or triple what they have. And oftentimes that can be done through word of mouth. It can be done through referrals, and it can be done through networking. Now, I want to come back to the networking one again, because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Kerry, like all of my business networks are all shut down right now because of what's going on. Well, so what? There's lots online. There's lots. We have them at CIBN Connect. You can just go to our website, thecibn.com, and go to the event page and sign up for a networking event. And on that networking event, there you go. You can start actually making appointments on the spot in our meetings. In our meetings, we actually encourage everybody to book a meeting while the meeting's going on, or as many as you want. So use that and book some meetings and start getting into the habit of networking. There's lots of places that you can go networking online. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. In fact, networking these days, you can do it for a quarter of the cost, because you don't have to drive across town. You don't have to buy lunch. The fees are a lot less. Ours are only $59 a month. There's other organizations also have low fees. Okay. So very, very low fees. And you can get business right away in a business network. Okay. You can start making appointments and honing your craft. And that is incredibly important, that you hone your craft, you hone your ability to have that sales meeting. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit more about some other places that you can get leads before I get into that. Because there's basic networking meetings that are out there online, and there's also all kinds of other things where people can interact. Because I want to talk a bit about social networking, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, other things like that. How do you utilize those to get leads? Well, again, you can have these machines that will actually, automate things and, get you more at once. But if you don't have a lot of business already booking every month, it's maybe not time for that yet. Okay. The reality is, for many people, you need 5 or 10 more clients a month, or maybe 20. And you may not need a lead generator for that. Okay. What you need to do is get online and be social. All right. You need to talk to people, join some of these very large groups, that are on Facebook. I might be talking to you through one right now. Okay. Join them, interact with others. When you see that they post something that's interesting, have a conversation with them. If you see a post that goes up that's similar to something that you do, look for ways you can collaborate with people who have the same target market that you do. Reach out to them. You see, they just made a post and their target market is the same as yours, but they sell something different than you do. So reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you made this post and I'm really interested in that topic, and I'd love to have a one-on-one with you, and see if you can get them to collaborate with you. Now, what's a collaboration? What is a collaborate partner? It is not the same as the one guy who gives you a lead. This is really important to understand. And it's part of the networking concept. It's something that we teach at CIBN Connect about networking. We actually show you how to do it properly so that you can make more money and be more profitable at it, we have a networking success path. And this is one of the little tidbits along the way on our networking success path. It's called a collaborate partner. A collaboration partner is somebody who has the same target market as you, but they sell something different. And this is really important, that you get to know this person and that you treat them differently than somebody you're just having a fast one-on-one with, okay? Because if they're the same target market as you and they sell a different product, they're not your competitor. They should become a really, really good friend. So if you have a meeting with someone like that and you guys are hitting it off, you should spend a little time together. You should actually do, a little bit of loving on each other in a very, appropriate way. Okay. I mean, spend time getting to know, like, and trust each other. Why? Because every client that person has is a potential client for you. And every client you have, that's a potential client for them. And this could become an incredibly profitable relationship where you feed that person 3 leads a month and they feed you 3 of theirs. And when they feed you those 3 leads every month, here's the cool thing. They are feeding you people who are their clients and they're buyers. They're not tire kickers. They're not wannabes. They're people who actually purchased from them, which is a much higher quality lead. You're just, instead of sorting through the haystack and finding needles, by yourself and digging and digging and digging and, just kind of like making mud as your wheels are running, you're actually having somebody feed you really high quality leads in that kind of a relationship. And you know what? If you had a collaborative partner that gave you 3 to 5 leads a month, would that help your business? What if you had 5 of them? Wow. So at CIBN Connect, in my company, we actually train you how to do that. And we help you find collaborative partners. And we help you get through those early steps to make this happen. Because here's the reality. Most people go out networking. They meet this person one time. They tell them what they do. And then they think that they should give them all of their best clients and their best leads. Why would they do that? Would you do that? You say, well, I give people leads all the time. Yes, I'm a real giver. You give them your best clients, really, to this person you just met. Why would you do that? Of course you don't do that. Nobody does that, and they shouldn't. Okay. You need to actually get to know, like, and trust them before you just open up all of your contact list to that person, right? That makes sense. So that's what you would expect from them too, right? So how do you do that? Well, the first thing you do is you have that initial meeting. I do this. This is the kind of client I serve. What do you do? Yeah, get that back and forth. It usually takes about an hour of yakking, right? And what you should be feeling for there is, am I in tune with this person? Do they have the same target market as me? Can we get along? Like, if I was going to have a party at my house, would I invite that guy? If you're getting positive answers and positive vibes from that, and like, yeah, I think I could really work with this person. I could get to know them better. Then the thing that you should do at the end of that first meeting is book another meeting for like a week or 2 from now, not too long, real quick. And on that second meeting, you should actually talk about things like, what's their why? What's their vision? You should actually share with a bit of vulnerability what your real why is with them, what your vision is, where you want to go. And you should have this exchange of information going back and forth. And as you do that, that person is getting to know you. And hopefully they're getting to like you. Okay. And hopefully they're getting to trust you through that exchange. Are you there yet? Probably not. Because they're thinking about it now. They're thinking about, yeah, okay, I like that exchange. I like that person. I like their vision. I really relate to that. So what do you do then? Book another appointment. It's not that hard. So what do you do on the next appointment? On the next appointment, on the third one, bring them a lead. 1. And when you meet with them, ask them, here, what will you do with a lead that I give you? You want to feel comfortable in that process. And you want to say, well, what will you do with this lead that I give you? And how will you treat this client? What kind of services are you going to offer them? And then you're going to say, okay, I have this lead for you. This is who it is. I'm going to CC the 2 of you in on an email, and I'm going to introduce the 2 of you. And then I'd like you to keep in touch with me over the next couple of weeks and tell me how it goes, and if you're able to book an appointment and if it's going to go somewhere. And let's meet again in a couple of weeks and discuss what happened. And do you have one for me? If they don't offer one, you ask them for one, because at this point they should be ready to give you one. And you should say to them, if they don't have one right then, you should say, look, I want you to go back to your office. I want you to find me a lead. I want you to CC me and on an email to that person. And when we get together, we're going to talk about what happened with the lead that you gave me. And I'm going to talk, and also we're going to find out what happened with the one that I gave you. And when you get back together the next time, no matter what happened, it just about always will lead to that person having more for you. And if you meet with them once a month, chances are they'll have 3 to 5 for you every month from that point on. And if you had a few of those relationships, hello, there's your lead problem fixed. For many people who are, having these types of issues where you don't have enough leads coming in, 5, 10, 20, 30 a month would make a huge difference. A monster difference. I see I'm getting some love over there from somebody. So yes, hi Tish. That's awesome. Those few leads make a big difference. Another place that you can get them, as I said, is just talking online, just making friends online, answering people's posts online, paying attention when someone says they have a lead. But I'm going to tell you a couple things not to do online, okay? Somebody else puts up a post, and maybe it's a coach, and they really are, you can see they're a coach, and they're asking people about coaching services, and you are a coach. One thing you shouldn't do is jump on their post and start answering everybody with all of your knowledge. Okay, that's just kind of rude. It's kind of sleazy. Don't do that. Okay, you shouldn't just jump all over everybody. All right. Another thing is when somebody reaches out and asks you, makes a friend request on Facebook, don't send them your solicitation on the first meeting. I know many people now are using these automation tools, and it just fires this thing out to them. It's disgusting. Okay, stop that crap. Don't do that. It's just rude. And you haven't even had a chance to have a conversation with that person. And you're just slobbering all over them like a big St. Bernard, licking their face with way too much, way too fast. Okay. I mean, business relationships and sales is kind of it's almost like dating. Okay. You got to have these steps first. All right. It's kind of first you see someone and there's interest. There's a spark. Ooh, a spark. Right? And then if you were thinking about, geez, I'd like to date that person, you wouldn't jump all over them like a St. Bernard, would you? Because you'd chase them away. They'd be like, okay, psycho, moving along, right? You don't want to do that in a relationship, and you wouldn't do it in sales either if you have any intelligence, okay? It's not the best thing to do. It's better to ask a question, test their response. See what their interest is in you first. So when somebody reaches out for a friend request for me, I like to actually, they say hi, I say hi. They ask a question or I ask a question. So what, tell me about your business. What do you do? And they come back with an answer. And then we have a little chat about that, right? And before I try to sell them something, maybe I say, well, here's a free video you might like. See if you enjoy it. Tell me how that is for you. Give them something. Don't just jump on them and sell them. What are you, some kind of slave machine or something? It's not even working that well. So why are you doing that? Everyone who does that to me, first of all, I tell them that I think they're a St. Bernard. And then I even have a meme about it on my page. If you want to go look. And then the second thing I do is I say, I make a lot of money, like a lot. And I'm just wondering how much you make using that technique. None of them have even answered me back. I think at best it might be $20,000, $30,000 a year. They think they're doing a big job because they're just splattering that crap out there a lot, and a little bit sticks to the wall every once in a while. Well, that's the crumbs falling from the master's table. That is not success. Okay. When you're talking about sales, what really works best in sales these days is relationship sales. It's getting to know people, answering, their needs, asking what those needs are before you start trying to shove something down their throat, right? If you haven't even asked any questions about what their needs are, I got to say something. How dare you? Why would you send them stuff when you don't even know, right? It's all about the question. Ask the questions. What is it that they need? Where are they at? You should have a list of questions that you continually ask people. So I know we've talked a lot about leads now and where you might get some. And I'm going to talk now about the sales process in more depth, because I think that a lot of people who are struggling with, making enough money, okay, it comes down to the fact that they're not having enough appointments to sell whatever it is that they sell. Okay. And because you don't have enough appointments, you haven't actually refined what your sales process is. You haven't refined your sales talk. And therefore you jump on people too fast, like that St. Bernard, or you don't ask at all because you're afraid to ask for the sale. Maybe you even think that sales is something dirty. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to be one of those greasy salespeople, those used car salespeople. Maybe you have that kind of an attitude, or maybe somebody made you feel bad about selling. Maybe that's happened to you. Well, I want to tell you something. Money is what makes the world go round. It just does. You say, well, it's not that important. All these other things are more important. Well, it's not that important until you don't have any. Then it's like oxygen. Okay. And if you don't have oxygen, you die. And if you don't have money, you have to go live out under the bridge like a troll. Okay. So you got to have some. Okay. So how are you going to get it? You know what? You provide services. When you give your service, your love, you give the answers to people's problems. You help people. You will never run out of money if you're helping people from your heart and you ask for the sale. Let me add that there, because I'm going to tell you something. For years, I was a pastor. For 14 years, I was a pastor. And I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave. And of course, I never asked for a sale. And I worked with the poorest of the poor and kept working with the poorest of the poor. And eventually it affected me in a way that wasn't very positive. I became the poorest of the poor. Okay. And I had to rejig the way I thought. I had to realize that when you give and you give and you give, and especially when you give in a business, okay, that has value. And there should be a time that you ask to be paid your value. Okay. You don't have to be slimy about it. You don't have to be like a super salesman and do the hard close. That's not what it's about. You just add value. So here's what your sales process should look like. First of all, you have a one-on-one meeting with someone. For most people, this is going to work, a one-on-one meeting, okay? When you have your one-on-one meeting, you ask them questions. Get the other person to talk first. Ask them questions. Ask them about what are their needs in accordance to whatever it is that you offer. And ask a lot of questions. Don't just ask one or two and then jump on them and bounce. No. Ask questions. So I'm going to give you a couple examples, all right? So let's say I'm an insurance agent and I'm meeting with people and I would love to help them with their financial planning. See, I can talk about this because I'm not an insurance agent. See, insurance agents are not allowed to talk about this online, but you can't take away my license because I don't have one. So I'm going to tell you how to do this. So you're an insurance agent and you want to actually help people with their financial planning. Maybe you want to sit down and do a budget with them, or maybe you want to do, maybe you have something that you go through that helps determine what their insurance needs are for them and their family. But you can't just jump on them and do that. So first, you're meeting with them. Ask them questions. Ask them about their family. Ask them what their goals are. Ask them about, where they work. You can, by the time you start asking questions about where they work, you can kind of gauge approximately how much money that they might be bringing in based on what their industry is. You have some ideas without saying, so how much money do you make every month? Because that is not a question that's probably people are going to go, well, I actually make $3,600 a month. They're not going to tell you that right off the bat because they got to feel like they trust you. So ask gentle questions at first. Ask about where they work. Ask if they're happy there. Are they going to stay there? As far as they know, how secure do they feel in that job? Maybe you might want to ask them about their family. The kids are maybe running around. Maybe you're in their house, or maybe you see them online as you're doing this online. So you say, how many kids do you have? right? How old are they? These are appropriate questions if the family is present. If you're on a park bench as a single man asking a woman that in the park, that's not appropriate. But if you're on a one-on-one, okay, then that's appropriate because they're there. You can see them, right? So find out those kinds of things. Ask them, are you married? Who do you have a significant other? Tell me what your goals are in life. Where do you want to go in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself as you retire in the future? How many years is it between then and now? And it's a nice way of saying, how old are you without asking how old they are? You should have a list of questions that you go down. And as they start to talk about their goals, that's where now you're warming them up to, well, maybe you have some answers for them financially. And I'm going to tell you something. For many of you, if you're an insurance agent, or if you're the kind of person who could offer a proposal, it's best not to try to sell them on the first appointment. It's best to ask a whole lot of questions, get them to open up a bit, and pay real close attention to what those answers are. I hope that you care about these people. I hope that you're not just asking the questions so that you can fill in the lines of data and because you just want to make a sale. And I have to tell you that if you're struggling financially, it's kind of hard to not think about those things. I know I was there too, okay? And I understand what that feels like. But you've got to take your eyes off yourself and really think about what's best for this potential client. And the best thing to do is ask all of these questions, collect all the information, and then say, you know what? I really enjoyed our time here today. And I'd like to take this information back to my office and prepare a couple of scenarios and make a proposal for you and your family. Would you be open to that? And generally, the person is going to say, yeah, I'd love to see what you come back with. By the way, another question that you might want to ask after maybe even at that point, you might say, do you have any idea of what your budget might be? Or maybe you have figured out, if you're an insurance agent, somewhere that you might be able to save the money on something they're currently buying, where that money could be repurposed into this plan. Okay? Some of your questions might have led to that. So you want to provide a solution, not only for what their financial plan is, but you want to have some idea about where this money would come from without putting undue hardship on the family. Hello? And if you can provide that when you come back with your proposal, you're going to make a sale. And they're going to be happy to have you in their life. They're going to actually, you're going to become one of these people that is a trusted advisor to that family because you took the time to ask the questions. And you see, any sales process should have questions. It shouldn't just be firing it at them, right? Buy for me. No, you're not a St. Bernard. Okay. You want to be good with people, kind with them, ask questions, and get to the bottom of what they need. Okay, so let's do another scenario here. How about if you are in direct sales, you're in network marketing, you are in MLM, you are in something that you'd have a recruitment factor. You got to recruit people and you got to sell products, right? So what do you do on the sales appointment? Again, ask questions. So let's say that you're in a network marketing company and it's a health and wellness product. All right. So as you're talking to this person, you should be asking questions about, is it important to you to have a strong immune system? Do you have any weight loss goals? Is that important to you? By the way, don't just assume that everybody who is 5 pounds overweight wants to lose that. That's really rude. I have to tell you. I've been thin and I'm heavier at this moment. Okay. And I tell you, I've gone to so many networking meetings. I got to tell you a couple of fun ones. I went to a networking meeting a few years ago and this was a live one. And we're going out to a buffet table, buffet dinner kind of thing where everyone's, loading their plates up. I'm standing in the line and this person behind me says, "Oh, Kerry, yeah. Hi. Yeah. I just wanted to tell you, I got a great weight loss program for you." You know what? I just looked at them and I'm like, do I look like I want to lose weight? Do you see what's on my plate? Boy, that's rude to make that assumption. I actually paid for every one of these pounds, and I'm quite happy, actually, with who I am. So no, thank you. It's rude to make those assumptions. Ask questions. Say, hey, what's important to you? Or maybe have a little survey where they check off the things that are important to them. You see, because if they check that off, then you have permission to talk about it. But if they don't check that off, that's just nasty. What are you doing? You're beating people over the head with something that they're not ready for. So just ask questions and find out where they're at. Find out what their heart is, and ask them about what their goals are in these areas, right? And if their goals are, well, right now I'm really working on my finances, and I'm really not, worried about, what my image is at this moment. Well, let's start with the finances then. And then maybe we'll talk to them about recruitment instead of talking about the weight loss product that you have. But ask these questions so that you know where to go in the conversation, okay? Don't try to jump on them immediately. Also, again, if you're having this one-on-one with somebody and you know that the presentation for you to properly present your company for recruitment or for the ability for them to buy from you as your customer, if you know that part of that presentation is going to take 40 minutes and you have booked 1 hour with this person, and we're now at 45 minutes into it, and you're going to try to give them some short version of this, that's a really bad idea. Okay, that's a recipe for a lost sale for sure, because you don't have the opportunity to do it well because it takes 40 minutes and you're trying to pack it into 15, and you're going to get 15 minutes into it and they're going to go, well, it's been nice. Got to go. Got another appointment right now. Okay. So if you're 45 minutes in, you've been talking about them, their needs, they've been talking, you've been chatting back and forth. You got 15 minutes left and they say, well, tell me more about what you do. This is what you should say. I would love to do that. And in fact, based off of what you just told me, I think I have some really great solutions for you. Unfortunately, it's going to take more than 15 minutes to get into. So I tell you what, let's book a time Tuesday at 4 or whatever it is that you have open. And let's talk about it then, and where we can really have a discussion just about that, because I want to take what you said to me and I actually want to think about that and process it and think about how I can best serve you based off of your needs. What do you think your recruitment level is going to be like if you treat people like that? Hello? It's going to go up really high because you're not jumping on them. Okay, you're actually asking what their needs are and responding to it. So whatever it is that is your sales process, you want to start out with questions, okay? And then you want to lead to the result. But here's the thing, if your presentation to get the sale takes longer than the time that you have left, you're going to come back next time with the proposal. Or we're going to come back next time where I'm going to give you a tour of my store, or I'm going to give you a tour of the solutions that I have for you. Okay? If you treat it like that, on that next appointment, they're going to be excited to hear what it is that you have. And they're going to actually sit through the whole appointment. And the chances of you actually getting a recruit or making a sale as a customer is going to be very, very high because you treated this process seriously and you had respect for it. Okay? Now, let's talk about results. You might think, well, I already covered results. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about results because results is incredibly important. Okay. Here's the thing about results. They really have to do with actionable activity that pays. Hello? So many times people will say to me, well, I'm just not making enough money from what I'm doing. And I don't know why, because I'm spending a lot of time at it. And I'll say, well, what are you spending your time at? There's a really great exercise to do. If you're not sure, just take a little booklet with you and start writing down all the things that you do in a day and keep that with you for a few days so that you have a list, and maybe go through your calendar, go, well, in the morning I do this. And I mean, you should really track stuff like how long do you have breakfast? How many times do you go to the washroom? How much time do you spend talking on the phone to your mother or your mother-in-law? How much time are you actually counseling someone versus bringing on a new client? And how long of time periods is that? How many meetings are you going to in a day where you're actually sitting and attending and not actually delivering or bringing new people into the meeting? How much reading are you doing? How much watching videos are you doing? What is the time period as that amasses up in your day? Okay. Because here's the thing. There's only certain activities that make money. All right. And after you have taken note of all the things that you do, you might want to take a highlighter and actually go through the list and go, what actually made me money? And here's the stuff that makes money. I booked a sales appointment. That makes money. I did the sales appointment. Okay. I delivered the product to the person that I sold something to, and I asked for referrals. That makes money. Anything else, just about everything else, doesn't. Okay. Do you have to do some of that stuff? Yes, you do. It's part of its customer care, part of its life. It's part of running a business. But you have to, if you're going to double the amount of money that you make in a month, you have to double the amount of time that you spend on the stuff that creates the revenue. And the stuff that creates the revenue is you, eyeballs to eyeballs with a prospect. Hello? So you got to know, how much time have I been spending on that? And how much more can I do? And if you do that and you double it, you're going to double your revenue. And if you double it again, you're going to double your revenue again. You guys, I'm going to tell you something. I learned all this the hard way. Okay. I learned it by making the mistakes. And what I'm trying to show you right now is how to miss some of those mistakes. Okay. When I first started working in my company, I think it's about year 2 or 3, I was seen to be spinning my tires and we were making money. In fact, we weren't doing horrible, but I felt like we could be doing a lot more. So I hired a business coach and she had me look at all the places that I was spending time. That's why I learned all this, right? I got to tell you something. I haven't had an original idea in my head like ever. And neither have you. Okay. Get over yourself. All right. We read books, we watch television, we watch things, we learn things. Where do we learn it? From somebody else, right? Maybe we perfected it. Maybe we honed it. But the reality is we don't have a lot of original thoughts. Okay. We're getting it from somewhere. And I got this idea from a business coach. She mentioned to me, where are you spending your time? And I did that exercise that I told you about. And I found out I was spending most of my time. In fact, most of us spend 80% of our time on stuff that doesn't make money and only 20% of our time on things that do. Now, when I did the math, I'm actually a very good salesperson. And in my company, I not only have products that are $59 a month, I have sponsors in CIBN that pay $10,000, $25,000 a year, okay, to be sponsors. And when I actually did the math on where I was making the money in our company, it was in these customer appointments where I'd have with potential sponsors or large client package offers, right? And when I did the math on how much an hour I made when I did that, it was $1,300 an hour. Hello? Now, that should got me excited, but it actually made me kind of sick. Because when I realized that how little time I actually spent on doing those activities, because I was running around wasting time on menial tasks that any VA could have done for me. Okay. What I realized was I was keeping my company small by not putting focus on those things that actually made money right now. Hello? And because I was unwilling to delegate things to anyone who could be trained to do those things like a monkey, okay, just doing stuff over and over again, okay, I didn't want to let go of it. I wanted to do it all myself. And I was keeping my company small. And I was keeping my income small. So the results came when I realized that I needed to free up some of the time that I had to spend more time on the sales, because I was good at that. I had done a lot of appointments. Why was I making $1,300 an hour? And I did that because I had a great closing ratio. Basically, 1 out of 3 that sat down with me, I would close. And I would close them on big ticket items, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 items. And I was only having, like, at the time when I did it, I think I was having like 3 or 4 appointments a month. and we were surviving on that because I'm a good salesperson, right? Why am I good? Because I did the stuff that I talked about earlier. I actually asked questions. Okay. I found out what they needed. I met their needs, right? And they loved being our clients afterwards. In fact, some of those sponsors are with us still today, to this day. So the results came when I realized where I was spending this time, what actually paid, and I doubled the activity and then tripled the activity there. But the thing that really made me sick was when I realized how many hours in a day I wasn't doing that activity. And it was over $180,000 a loss to my company every month that I wasn't focusing on making the sales. Hello? So when you figure out the thing that you're doing that makes the most money, that has the most results, put focus there. Okay? There is no business guru anywhere in the world who's going to tell you that distraction is the key to success. It is not. Focus is. Okay? So when you realize what's bringing you results, that's the thing you got to drill down into and do more of. You got to identify it, figure out where you're going to get the time to do it, and double the results there. Okay? And then triple them and so on. It's a scalable after that. And once you get to a place where you are actually, spending as much time in your calendar as possible, having the one-on-one appointments and having clear sales processes that are actually turning around and having a very clear and strong sales ratio where you're actually, that you meet 3 clients and 1 buys, or even 4 and 1 buys. At that point, you should be able to describe to a new salesperson that works for you, or to a VA, or even in an automated process, you should be able to now figure out what it is that you're doing so that it can be duplicated and scaled. And that's when you're ready to actually look for a lead generator that brings in 50 or 100. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not bringing in at least $5,000 to $10,000 a month, you don't need a lead generator. Okay. You need to do some networking. You need to get some referral business, right? You need to find some collaborating partners. And fortunately, I know where you can find them. It's a place called thecibn.com. It's my company. And if you're watching this right now, go to the event page at thecibn.com, because there's all kinds of cool events there. Things that will help you, stuff that'll show you how to do what I'm talking about, step-by-step directions. So go find one of the events on there so that you can learn more about how you can get business through networking, through referrals. And then there's another one I haven't even gotten into, but it's a big one. It's called Masterminds. And I don't even have time to cover that today. But on the event page, there's likely something right there right now that you could go and actually sign up to do a Discover Mastermind. Find out what that's about, because that is something that will actually add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your bottom line. Okay? So that's a good one. Stay tuned for more. All right. If you're watching me on YouTube, I would ask you to subscribe. And if you're not, by the way, we have a great YouTube channel with lots of free stuff on it. It's called CIBN TV. It's easy to find. Just actually do a search on that. CIBN TV. And go there, subscribe, ring the bell so you see more of this. I am going to be going live every day for the next 30 days. And I am so excited about that, because there's so many things that I'm going to be able to share with you. And there is so much stuff that I can bring to the table here. And I'm going to tell you something else. I've got so many cool people in my network that are just dying to come and meet you. So you want to stay tuned. Follow us here in this group, and also follow us on CIBN TV on YouTube. Happy capitalism. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.